That is hardcore.
This is hardcore shit.
But for me, it gets harder and harder to resist.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Horror with Mike and Bridget. Hey, all right, here we are, season 4 with Hardcore Horror. Brand new year, and we're going to try a new little format here. We're doing some video. Bridget, what's up?
What's up, Mike?
What's going on? I can see you.
I can see you.
Don't be picking your boogers over there. I can see you. All right, very cool. Well, this is different. We're trying something different. Going to spice it up a little bit this year and see how it goes, right? Should be interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. All right, so we're going to start this off a little different than we normally do. We have a guest that we're going to start off right at the top of the episode here. Tell us about the guest we have right here.
We have Samuel Schmucker. Samuel is an independent filmmaker, a photographer, and a podcaster. What's up, Samuel?
Samuel. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, right. Man, super excited to have you on the podcast because you've got some pretty exciting things coming up for 2025. So we definitely want to talk about that some. But we also always like to ask. We always like to ask kind of first thing. Tell us a little bit how you got started in filmmaking.
Well, that kind of goes back to how I got started in everything, really. About 3 years ago, I was struggling to find a job, and I got a job at Hot Box Pizza, and it's right next door to a music venue. And I was in and out of there every single week, delivering pizzas for catering to the bands, to wedding parties, whatever, that everybody got to know me. And eventually I kept getting the invites, hey, when you get off work, come over and hang out, come and enjoy the show. And that led to me getting hired to be the backstage doorman that got to greet all the bands that came to play there. And after a little while, I moved on my own and started doing my own thing, and that led into doing photography. Well, that was after, but I was doing a gig, and somebody called out and said, hey, do you want to play what you actually do in real life in a film I'm making? And I'm like, what do you mean what I do in real life? Well, you're a bouncer, security at a music venue. You know, I'm looking for someone who's experienced in that aspect that can portray real life acting. You won't have a script. I just want you to listen to what they say in front of you, and then what would you do if that was at the actual place? So that's what I did, and I actually enjoyed it and had fun with it. And then I got invited to do a little fight scene in a short that was put out on YouTube called Just One Good Day from Paul Allen. We had a little scuffle in the scene. I couldn't get anything else too far away and all that. I just got frustrated because I enjoyed it, and there's nothing around Indianapolis, Indiana to dive into. I like horror films, so I was like, I'm going to just do my own. You know, all our classic horror films we've watched were low budget, no budget, beginning actors, directors. Friday the 13th, every actor had to supply their own wardrobe to be used in the film. Jamie Lee Curtis talked about that many times. So, you know, I was like, it can't be that hard. Everybody's doing TikTok and all these other social media video sites and making stuff. So I had plenty of people from doing security that I reached out to, and filmmakers, musicians, directors, actors, and just got advice here and there. And it was like, find something. And one guy was like, man, tap into the tributes, you know, do a fan film just to show what you can do, but be careful with the IP. So I sat here with my wife and we discussed, you know, she was like, okay, what are you going to do? We ran through every horror actor, and I'm like, I can't do Freddy's voice. Michael Myers is too fresh to even touch and play with. I'm not big and bulky to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Scream is just a little bit too comic bookish for me to want to touch, and you'd have to have a good storyline to play with that, because that killer changes with every single movie. It's somebody new, somebody different. There's a storyline, a plot, too much. And then I was like, the best one is Jason. He doesn't talk. You put the right outfit on and the right coat, you can be 125 pounds, but look like you 230 if you dress the character correctly. It doesn't take much to portray him. And I was like, and his storyline is so open and broad that there's so many avenues you could touch without actually touching the intellectual property. So I sat down and I was like, I'm going to do this. I got with some writers, I got with some friends, and we came up with a script from a story that I came up with. Jason keeps having visions of his mom. All through the original movies, he would see his mom, hear his mom. So I played with that as her telling him, go find the house. Go. Don't let no one get in your way. Take them all out. And that was my play. And I had to figure out, why was he going to go look for a house? And how can I make Jason in New Jersey living in Indianapolis? And so I said, I'm going to bring him here to Indianapolis. But what do I have to do that? And then I found out Pamela's story started in Cadix, I believe that's the proper way to say it, Ohio. Through the comic books, the stories, the movies, she came from Ohio with Elias. And he has a story that you can play with because nobody's touched him neither. So I played with Pamela, gave her a whole backstory, gave her a mom and a dad, gave her a birthplace here in Indianapolis, and it sent Jason on the mission to come here, find his mom's grandparents, hoping, remember, Jason would be 78 years old today if he had lived. So, but his mind's not there. So he came here looking for Pamela's grandparents, hoping that they'd be like Pamela, take him in, love him, and nurture him like Pamela did. He gets here, he kills a bunch of people getting in his way, making noise, bothering him. It's an outrage. He finds the house. The house is empty. It's abandoned. He gets pissed. He gets shitty. He runs off and goes back to Crystal Lake. And he leaves a path of destruction. It leaves the movie open, but it gives you another sense of a story to be able to touch Jason again and get something fresh from it.
So I watched this movie earlier, and I absolutely love how you're like, how can I do this in Indianapolis? I thought that was really genius. I thought it was a really good idea, and I also absolutely loved how you had a scene at a horror convention. So I thought that was I was like, that is genius. I work horror conventions, and it's all your actors are right. They're all right there. So I thought that was pretty cool that you tied that into your story. That was really good.
Really
I
cool.
just, like she talked about the horror thing. I had the movie about 2 weeks to the deadline of September. I had to have it in the movie theater at September 12th, and for the price that I got to be able to put it in there. And it was coming out on YouTube on the Friday 13th. So we had 2 weeks, and we had to fill a gap of 28 minutes. And I'm like, how can I get 28 minutes? What the hell can I add to this movie for 28 minutes? And that night I got a call saying, hey, do you want to come over here next weekend? So that was the weekend before the movie was coming out, and be a guest at this convention. We need a filler spot. I see you're local to Indiana, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, for real. That's my first convention. Be a guest at. Yes, I'll come. And while I was there, everybody came around that first day and was talking to him. I was only there the one day. But in the morning, they came around talking to me, and by the end of the evening, everybody was in agreement to let me come around and capture them at the convention and hear about Jason being in Indiana. So it was something special that was a spur of the moment thing to add that time into the movie.
Wow, I've never known that you like planned that on the fly ever. And you know what I
It
even
was
love about it even more is Bill Russell. We love Bill. Bill's been on our podcast a couple of times. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, there's Bill. That's awesome. He's really cool guy. Yeah, so that's fun. That's awesome. I cannot believe you did that on the fly. And what a great idea. That's awesome.
yeah. I was trying to figure out how to. I had already implicated myself in the film as Jason, and I was like, you know, every great director like M. Night Shyamalan or I'm just too many, but
Hitchcock, yeah.
Hitchcock,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they like to throw their little cameo role into their films. Stephen King was notorious for it,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be able to, not just have myself as Jason, but me. I wanted me to be in it just to give myself that little, I'm gonna do this every now and then with something I do, and it adds something special for me because I've always looked up to watching M. Night Shyamalan movies and his independency that he takes on with his films, and then he throws himself in there, and he just fits the mood. And I was like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to do that to my film, and I was gonna do it with my son, who was the little boy with the glasses on at the beginning
Okay.
with the blonde hair. I was gonna do it with him standing beside him, and I was like, nah, I'll let him have the spotlight for this because he's going to be playing Georgie in my Stephen King tribute. And I was like, I'm going to let him have the spotlight so people can get to see him and not concentrate on both of us, just him. So,
Cool.
Since you got a little actor over there, huh?
yeah.
So what's the
Awesome.
scene like in Indiana? You said there's not a lot of indie filmmakers up there, or no? Or there is, or
There's a
no?
lot. There's a lot in Indiana, but when you get to the horror stuff, you got one just south of me, it's Paul Allen. He does some horror stuff. Um, Tanner Noble is south of me. He does some horror things. And for the most part, that's the only two I really follow that I have seen in any of the groups that I'm on in Indiana that do horror. A lot of the people
Mhm.
do drama, romance, a couple
Really?
thrillers,
Oh, that's crazy.
but
Yeah.
it's time frame. A lot of them, and like I said, all my productions are non-paid. We don't have a budget. We don't have capital and investors.
Sure.
I've only got one movie out, so I haven't really made a name for myself. But these people, they find somebody who knows how to do crowdfunding and find an investor to drop 5 or 10,000 into their project, and then they roll out and get everything they need done. And when I see a project and it says, they got $83,000 in Indiegogo and they're trying to reach 100,000, and yet the role is not paid, and it's a 3 to 4 hour gig, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't pay my actors because I don't have funding. But if I had $83,000 out of a $100,000 goal, I think I would be casting saying, hey, $80 role for 3 to 6 hours, $100 role for, if you've never acted, yeah, I'm not going to pay you $200. But if you got 50 credits on your thing and you're seasoned a little bit, you deserve $150 if I got $83,000 to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
just thinking,
we know all about that independent horror
so
making
yeah,
films, don't we, Mike?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's why I never apply to any of these that, I work 7 days or 5 days a week. I'm up at I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm out the door by 7:30. I don't get home to 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday. And then the weekends, I every night I work on something with somebody through a film. So on the weekends when the weather's nice, I go out and film. And then sitting back, I'm just like, I ain't got time to take off work to go noon on a Wednesday for nothing, for free, just to get a movie credit when you got a budget. I'll stick to doing my own things till something else comes along because, I mean, that's why I
Mhm.
work my schedules around all my actors. Like I'm dealing with one right now. She can't do the third, for Georgie, and I'm trying to get a date that she can do, that we all can do, because that's a huge, huge scene. Because I have parents coming for all the kids, I have all the kids, and then I have a few other people who are filling in for clowns and other parents. There's going to be a good 20, 30 people at this park on the same day at the same time. And I've got to, and she's one person with her and her daughter. And I don't want to say anything more about who she is for privacy, but to have her tied to my film is a big deal for me out of Indianapolis, because she's a former celebrity around here. So,
Cool.
and I'm trying to work my time frame out with her so that I can switch the date to something suitable for her and her daughter, because I really want to have her in my film, because it's Indianapolis and it's local celebrity. So it adds to the allure of me as a filmmaker to show that, hey, I can do something, and I got somebody that everybody knows. So, give me a shot, work with me. I can do things that you may not be able to do. My wife will tell you I'm a networker. I'll go to a concert because you're playing and Bridget's there, and I see Bridget's the opener, so I'll go look Bridget up and be like, oh, I like her music too. She's got a style. So that when I get to the show for you and I hang out with you in the backstage talking, I come out and do some photos for you. I get to meet Bridget because I'm in the backstage. Next thing you know, 3-4 weeks later, me and Bridget are at a show because I'm doing her photos. I network. There could be 50 people on that bill. I'm walking away with 10 or 15 people's brand new phone numbers and contacts for the next time. And I have something to bring. It's just nobody knows me, and I'm trying to prove that I can do things on my own.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And tell us about Georgie's Revenge. Tell us a little bit about that, because that's your project that you have coming up.
That is outside of Jason, which was my first. This one is more closer to my inner vest, if that makes any sense, because I'm a Stephen King fanatic. I'm an aficionado, if you want to put it technically. I did a thesis on him in college. I wrote essays for him about him in college because of his writing skill, his the way he takes his prose of horror and brings them to life from real life incidents. The guy sitting on the park bench come up with a whole horror story out of that, and just the imagination and creativity that he has. Georgie's Return is something that I'm going to be more cuffed about than I was with Jason, because it's more close to my heart. And I wanted to do a Stephen King anyways, and I picked Georgie because Pennywise is so in demand right now with all these new shows and this part 3 coming out and everything else, that we keep on revisiting certain things, but you don't come up with something fresh. And I figured that we all know it supposedly died, shrunk, and went back in the well from the 2017 movies. And then the original miniseries, where I'm basing mine off of, is they killed it by crushing its heart at the end. And the spider collapsed, and all the spider's victims came slowly down to the ground again. And Georgie made one appearance outside of his death scene, and that was in the sewer when he was trying to coax Bill to follow him.
Yep.
And he was fully whole. He wasn't missing his arm. He looked like Georgie had just went outside to play. And that's the last image you have of him. That's how I'm bringing my Georgie back. Without spoilers, Georgie's whole. And he's been manifested by a team of researchers who basically are dabbing into contacting the afterlife.
Mhm.
Dr. Ross is a paranormal researcher, and his main goal is to make contact with the other side. His ultimate goal is to create a portal to bring the other side here safely, just to be able to say that there is life after death. Here is the truth. And some way, somehow, Georgie is manifested in the flesh and is brought back. However, again, I'm not going to spoil things. There's few little props that Dr. Ross obtains and uses to animate Georgie, if that's the best way to say. And Georgie comes back and kind of does what Pennywise did and passes out balloons to kids that he sees, but instead of killing them like Pennywise, they disappear. And he takes their souls as they disappear to manifest his life more. And it's the same concept as that, as Pennywise, except in a different format. He's a child, so he doesn't have the murderous knowledge and rage. He passes the balloon. He knows that if I give you one, you're going to join me. So by doing that evil that's in him now makes him disappear, and he just takes their soul. And that is why I said at the end, when you and me were talking, Bridget, about the clown, is that Georgie is confronted after the kids disappear, and the parents start yelling for the kids, and they all converge. They're at a park, so you got to keep in mind when the parents notice that the kids are missing, and this little kid keeps passing out balloons. A parent's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And all the kids disappear. Georgie disappears. The parents are left sitting there going, "What the fuck just happened? Where are all my, and they're going stupid." And eventually it skips to Dr. Ross saying, "Hey, we just got a thing. The police are on their way over here to check this out. We need to get there before them." Georgie's there. They said a kid with a yellow, passing out balloons and a yellow rain flicker. Boom. They get there. They pull the spirit box out, the EVP. They start calling him like Ghostbusters. He appears, Baze Scroob. They confront him. When they confront him, he sees how many people Dr. Ross has. He's like, "That ain't nothing. Let me show you my posse." Boom. All the dancing clowns appear behind Georgie. And that's when he says, "Let me introduce you to my clowns." Hence why I needed the names of the clowns to introduce and announce people, because it's going to be an individual shot of their face going like you, "I'm Puddingtane," and then going on to the next one, and going on to the next one. Each clown would get a full "my name's this" on screen, and going to each one of them, then back to Georgie, and then Georgie transports them all and handles business. So,
Hey, I heard you got a pretty good cast for your clowns.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how Samuel and I that's how we met. Is I'm cast as one of the clowns, one of the dancing clowns. So super excited. And give me a reason to dress up as a clown, and I am down the clown every time. Love it. Awesome. Yeah, so it's really exciting. That's really cool. I love it. Really cool stuff.
we got two other projects besides that one coming out too. We got a short that me and my son are going to do about a Jack in the Box that's old as hell, and he finds it after years and years later, and decides to throw it away. He tries to crank it; it don't work very well. He throws it away. It comes to life. It kills him, and it gets back in the trash can. Nobody's the wiser. Don't know why he got killed. Trash gets taken out along with everything else. Some lady finds it in the alley and takes it home with her, and it starts a whole new trend. So my goal is to take the Jack in the Box after making this short, and whoever I cast to be the woman who takes it from the trash in the alley will take it home and make her own Jack in the Box film. And then do the same thing, find somebody else that will be willing to come wherever she films at, pick it up from her trash in the alley, or on the side of the street and take it home and make a movie and keep the trend going and make it into a series.
That's a great idea.
That
I
is a
like it.
good idea. What is it about those old toys that are creepy?
Right?
Remember Krampus had like a whole scene with all the
Oh,
toys that
yeah.
come alive. It's kind
Yeah.
of creepy. And there's a movie coming out this year called The Monkey. Is it The Monkey? Right? About
Yeah, I think it's the
the
monkey.
little
Yeah,
toy clown
the
that
little,
does
yep.
little symbols or whatever. Right? I
Mhm.
was
That's
like,
kind
I
of
thought
like
that's a
from
pretty good
Stephen
idea.
King's movie Monkey Shines.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what? I believe you were talking about Stephen King. I believe the monkey that's coming out this year was based off of a Stephen King short. I
Yep.
believe.
Yep. I
Am I
think
right?
Yep,
that's true.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
yep.
cool.
I think that's the same movie, Monkey Shines. That was the
Yeah.
name of the story.
Oh,
It's
Monkey
about
Shine
the
was the
guy
name of the
that got
story.
yeah, the guy was quadriplegic and he couldn't move, and they got him this monkey that could help him do things. And eventually, the monkey became so jealous of everybody around him that it turned evil, and the monkey shined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was George Romero directed that one. The new one's coming out on Perkins, and that's a different short by Stephen
Okay,
King. I think it's a newer story of his.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah, it should be
Yeah.
interesting.
I haven't
I've
read his
definitely
last two
seen
books
I've
yet.
seen Monkey Shine, but I am thinking I'm pretty sure it was like the damn 1980s when I saw it. So I
Right?
might do a
Yeah,
rewatch of that sometime.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. I remember it's different. Different.
hmm
I like anything different. Anything different's cool.
And then
Um,
our mini series, we I've got most of it halfway casted for August when we start shooting. It's called The Man in the Face. It's a psycho thriller horror. It's a basis about a man who's around my age. He's in his 40s, and for the last 20 some years, he's worked a meaningless, meaningful job that pays him okay, and he um he works this meaningless job, and the job is like working at the ticket booth at the toll road. He's done that for 20 years. Good money, but it ain't going nowhere.
Sure.
Well, one day he runs across a guy that don't recognize him. I was like, man, get out of my way. And it's one of his childhood bullies. And so it sets off something in him, and he flips. You know, just that 20 years of rage. He ain't had to deal with it. Now all of a sudden his bullies are back in town, and he flips. And so the whole mini series of season one is him capturing his childhood bullies. And one by one, he kills them, tortures them, eats them,
Mm.
just gross and gruesome and just grotesque type nasty shit. I want people to see the screen and be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch that." That's what my goal is with the intensity is I want it to be gross and nasty looking, but I also want it to have a storyline that people can resonate with, but also be like, yeah, I don't think I'd go that far. He flipped his wig. And I plan on doing a movie after the 10th episode that'll dive more into some more history of him and some other people. And then the last season, which is season 2, which will close it out, is basically just a cat and mouse game with him and the police and a few more murders and some things like that.
Cool.
we watch a lot of it. We watch a lot of extreme horror movies, and it's funny you saying that because a lot of them don't always have the best storyline. Some of them don't even have a damn storyline at all, right, Mike? Like
They
we
don't. They
watched
just
some
blood
that
and
Yeah.
was
guilt.
like, I was like, there's not even a story, but it's all this
Yeah.
like
Some of them just
horrific,
gore for poor
gross.
sake.
Yeah, just a shock factor, and that's it. No story.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
had a story in there would be good. I love extreme horror. I absolutely love it. And the fact when you said, "Oh, but I want it to have like a really good storyline," I think that's like game changer for sure when it comes
Yeah.
to film. And I can tell you're very passionate about storytelling. I can definitely see
Yeah.
that. You're
Yeah.
definitely a storyteller.
Good.
Love that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One of my friends, his name is Rob Mello. You guys will know him as the babyface killer in the movie Happy Death Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was also, I don't remember his role, but he was also in the Magnificent Seven. in the town when Denzel Washington, I think it was Denzel, came into town and told him this was going to happen. And he had a scene there. He's been in lots and lots of movies. And he told me, as a beginning filmmaker, if I'm going to go out here and do this, I need to make sure I have a plot. I need to have a story, because anybody can pick up a film, a camera, cell phone, and make a horror movie and not have a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he goes, if you have a story, that makes them pay more attention to you, because now they're like, okay, what the hell's going to happen next? Especially if you leave it at a distance and cut it to another scene and then bring it back to that distance. He's like, that really captivates them, because then they got the next scene that is going to hold them for the next one. And they're just going to keep on going and going. But like, man, look, I want to know what's going on with him, and I want to know what's going on with her. What the hell's going on here? And he goes, as long as you have that, people stay interested. And that's why I want to keep the twist going in each episode. So I have a plan on how to introduce each victim and how to keep that victim going through the episodes. Even after they die, we're going to have a flashback scene where it takes you back and he's telling a story to one of his victims and saying, yeah, you don't remember me, do you? Well, listen, check this out. You and them two guys right over there on the floor, you see, he's missing his leg. I took it off yesterday, and it wasn't very good. He wasn't too flabby, so it was like eating gristle. But you got some meat on you. I'm gonna cut you up. I'm gonna eat you real good tonight. So let me tell you a story about these two and who they are to you and who I am to you. You shoved my nose in dog shit when I was like 14 years old, coming home from school. Remember that? You made me eat that dog shit laying on the grass. Then the next day you threw me in the water sprinkler at the old lady's house. You know, I never expected to see y'all again, but here I am grown up. I got all these fun toys and stuff to play with in here. I'm going to show you who I am. And then it takes you to the flashback scene to while he's talking, seeing the kids shove each other in the dog shit through the water sprinkler. I got kids that's going to be portraying that. So, you know, it's just, it kind of keeps you going, and you get to see the visual of what he's talking about.
That's cool. I would totally watch that. It sounds interesting to me. Sounds just right up my alley. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. So you are like super busy, crazy busy, and you're a podcaster. And you're a podcaster
I do a podcast. Too. I haven't done one since I 2 weeks before Jason came out. I haven't done one. I did do one, but it hasn't been edited because I haven't had the time to get in with my editor and my editing team. Just, you know, I don't get home till 6 or 7 at night, and then I spend some time with my son till he goes to bed, some time with my wife, and then I work on some stuff on the phone, and then they're not available on the weekends when I'm off, so it's hard to set a time frame, but we're going to work on it. And just, yeah, I do photos, I do podcasting. I work 5 days a week doing internet installs, and then I write stories and scripts and plots and things like that.
Dude, jack of all trades over here. I love it. It's awesome. So cool. So cool. So tell us where you know our listeners can find you on social media, watch your fan film. Where can they find you at?
Let's see, you can find the video versions of the podcast on my YouTube channel, which is Schmucker Productions.
Okay.
You can also see it on Spotify. I believe it is the same name, Schmucker Productions, but it may be listed under Samuel Schmucker. Then it's also on audio on iHeart and on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Right on. And what about you? What if we want to find you on social media? I know you're on social media.
I am Samuel Schmucker on Facebook.
Okay.
That logo is my picture.
Awesome.
We are also on Schmucker Productions on Instagram.
Okay.
I ain't gonna mention TikTok since it's about to shut down tomorrow.
Yeah.
I do have a link tree. It's Linktree Samuel Schmucker, I believe. but anybody can just reach me. The easiest way is on Facebook. I do have a website. It's it's on Webador. Schmucker Security Productions at webador.com, I believe. Again, you can also Google me. You can Google Schmucker Productions, Samuel Schmucker, and pretty much it'll pop up all kinds of stuff. So,
all right.
Yeah. Right on.
All right.
So
well,
cool.
Samuel, thanks for coming on. We're really glad that we got to chat with you about all your endeavors and everything. Look forward to you coming up and making some good movies up there in Indiana.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm super excited about this project too. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time and it's going to be a lot of fun and you will not be disappointed in my performance, I guarantee.
I'm sure Bridget's going to tell us. She's going to tell us all about it. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you already know. Awesome. Man, we really appreciate you coming on. I know it was super last minute, so we really appreciate you. And you're awesome, dude. Keep making movies and keep horror alive and thriving.
I'm trying.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Samuel Schmucker, huh?
Yeah, man.
Right.
Crazy busy guy. Wow. Crazy busy. That is so awesome. Every time we bring independent directors on, they always like have so many projects and they're always like so freaking busy. But it's so much fun though. So much fun. Filmmaking is so much fun.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're doing this a little backwards here a little bit. So starting here, we're going to talk about a few other little things after the interview. So it's a little interesting and weird. So it's been a while. It's been quite a while here. We what do we do? We haven't talked did a podcast since early December. So
December, it's been like over a month, which is crazy for us. Yeah. Wow.
So horror wise, what's been going on with horror? What do you got? What do you got to talk about?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk about some of the anticipated horror films of 2025. I'm not super excited about a lot of them, so I want to kind of get your feedback. I've got a list going of a few of them. Do you have a list too? I bet you do.
I don't have a list. Of it, so go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we just talked about this earlier. The monkey. I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously after Long Legs, I mean, Oz Perkins is definitely on the radar. You know, well, I mean, he was.
I think that's the reason I want to see it. To be honest with you, that's the reason I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, just judging by the trailer, obviously it doesn't have the same feel as that movie. I don't think it's going to be anywhere like that one at all. But obviously he's capable of making movies and good ones. I enjoy the was it the Black Coat's Daughter? That one was pretty good stuff too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think it should be good.
Yeah. So what else do I have? I mean, it's a no-brainer, guys. Circus the Dead 2. We'll be filming this year.
We'll be filming this year, but will it be out this year?
I don't think so. I
it could.
It could, but honestly, I really don't see it coming out this year. But if it does, that'd be great. I'll still anticipate it, but let's hope for the best. But I seriously doubt it though. But I'm so looking forward to it. You have no idea. So excited about it. Let's see, what else do I have? Wolfman. I think we've talked about this a couple times.
Wolfman's already dropped. I haven't seen it, but it's already out there.
Is it? Because I had it wrote down for January, so I didn't realize it already came out. You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it. It came out this past weekend. What can you say about it? I don't know. I want to see it, but I'm not really like, oh my god, I have to go rush out and see that. Right?
Yeah, right.
And I think, and maybe that is because of like that Wolfman, you know, that had Anthony Hopkins in it, and the other guy, I can't think of his name, the guy who played the wolf, can't think of his name right now, but that one was okay at best. I think it wasn't like great. It wasn't like fantastic. And wolf movies are hard for me. I mean, there are some that I absolutely love. You know, obviously American Wolf in Paris or American Wolf in London, man. They're not Paris. And Ginger Snap, stuff like that. I love those movies, but I mean, werewolves movies, they're hard. They don't always work and work well. Obviously, I think that the director, Lee Wanell, is very capable of making good movies. So hopefully he'll make a good one. But it's just not like something I'm like, oh my God, I have to see it right away.
my God, I want to go see it.
Yeah, I do want to see it.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will. Yeah. I'm trying not to get my hopes up for it. That way I can either be surprised.
Me either, because I set myself up for failure like damn near every time I do that. So I'm not going to do that this time. And I feel like we haven't had like a good werewolf movie in a really long time. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Well, these remakes or reimaginations of the Universal monsters, sometimes they're very hit or miss. I mean, you saw that one with the Mummy, right, with Tom Cruise. I mean, they tried to.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen it? They were trying to kick it off again with that, but it didn't work out. So I mean, it's a little hit or miss. But I did like what Lee did with The Invisible Man. So if he brought that sort of ideas, and look, he's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of good stuff, from Saw to Insidious. He's a very competent filmmaker. So it probably will be good. It probably will be good. Hopefully.
Yeah. For sure. So I will tell you, like, I think out of all the anticipated horror movies, for me, the one that I'm excited about, and you might think this is strange, but it's Wildwood. You know anything about Wildwood?
Wildwood? I don't think I know that one.
Oh, Wildwood. So it's based off of a novel called Wildwood, and it's stop motion, and it's the same production company that did Coraline. And,
okay. Okay.
So, and it's crazy. It doesn't even have a release date yet. So, but it's supposed to be 2025. Didn't have an actual release date, but the crazy thing is they've been working on this since 2011.
Well, I was going to say, stop motion, it takes a long time, Yeah,
but 2011. What?
Well, I mean, look at that.
Crazy.
Look at that movie that came out recently, Mad God. He spent 30 years on that thing.
Oh, I did not know that.
30 years. It's crazy.
Dude, I don't think I could do that. I'd be like, man, I got to see light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? I just don't think I could do it.
Look, I did a little short, helped out in a little short. It's called Bad Mojo. And we did a little stop motion stuff with these creepy dolls. Where you literally just sit them, move them a little bit, take a picture, move, take a picture, move, take a picture. I mean, we were there for hours for like a few seconds of the film.
Wow.
Hours. Yeah. So, and it wasn't even really complicated. Mostly it was just like them moving forward, So I can imagine that kind of stuff just takes way too much time.
But it's so cool when it's put together. I love stop motion, and I Coraline, I love. I did a rewatch of that like back in October, I think. Absolutely love that movie. To be almost kind of like a child's movie, but not. I don't know. I love it though. So I'm super excited about that one. The other one that I'm super kind of excited about is Frankenstein. Do you know anything about that one?
That's Gormello Vitero, right?
Yeah, Mia Goth. Yeah, Mia Goth will be in it. So this one's a little bit different. So it's supposed to be like 40 years after Frankenstein has taken place. And it's about a scientist who wants to continue the experiments of Dr. Frankenstein. So I was like, that's kind of different. I don't know. I thought it's interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I probably will be good. And also, it's coming out this year too, is The Bride.
The Bride. That's funny because that's on my list also.
Okay, so that one is probably going to be interesting. It's obviously going to be nothing like the original because it's going to focus on the bride, or the bride's I'm sure going to be in way heavier. Where the bride was only in for just a little bit in the original, which the original is a classic, and people, they really put it up there. Even some people put it there more than the original Frankenstein. and I do really like it. But there is something about the original that kind of doesn't really work for me, and it's the part
Mhm.
where the scientist has the little people in the jars.
Mhm.
It's like as much as like
Don't
we can.
even remember that.
Yeah,
That's
it's in there.
crazy.
Go back and rewatch it. It's like as much as you can like kind of bend reality a little bit to like maybe think that you can reanimate dead tissue and bring people back to life
Mhm.
and sort of play around with that. And I know that's even obviously suspension of disbelief, but when you add like these little people in jars, it just seems a little silly. But that's like my only gripe with that movie. It is a great movie. So
When you say little people in jars, do you mean like little
mm,
people like little
like
like this
like
big?
they shrunk people and put them in jars. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, oh.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
didn't even remember that. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
You're due for a
Right.
rewatch then. But that one should be good because it's got Maggie Gyllenhaal is the one that directed it, and Christian
Mhm.
Bell plays Frankenstein. So
Oh, I didn't. That's awesome. And I like that. Yeah, I love him as an actor. He's great. I also liked it. I like kind of like it. I think it's like around like a 1930s Chicago scene. I was like,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. Pretty
so
cool.
definitely different.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely have some movies on my little list over here that I'm not really excited about.
Yeah. Okay,
Um, let's see. What's not exciting? Black Phone 2.
I
Hmm.
like Black Phone one, so I'm okay with it. I mean,
I'm
was
gonna
it?
watch it, but
I mean, was
I'm
it the
like,
best movie ever? But I don't know. I
yeah,
like the grabber. I like the grabber. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm okay with it.
Um,
Bring it on.
they're doing another talk. There's gonna be a Talk to Me too.
No,
Um,
no, they're not doing Talk to Me Too right now.
they're not.
They're working on
What?
another movie. No, that's
Oh,
they've got another movie that they're I think editing or something right now. So those guys that did that movie, it's weird because they said they had a prequel to it already filmed, but they're
hmm
not releasing that. They're making another movie. But I
hmm
guess Talk to Me Too is going to come down the pike. It's just not going to be this
hmm Okay. Okay. Hey. All right. All right. I ain't gotta worry about that one. I think there's gonna be another Final Destination movie.
There is going to be another Final Destination movie, which is I think maybe the final movie that Tony Todd's in. So
Oh,
um,
real? Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So
Craziness.
that
You
should be
know,
pretty special.
those always have like crazy, really good kill scenes.
I think they're all
Um,
good. I think they all
yeah.
work. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there's some I like better than the others, but I think as the concept itself, it works and it works well. I mean, yeah, most of them are basically just rinse and repeat for the most part, but it
hmm
works. And you're right. Each time the kills get a little bit more innovative and stuff, and so it's
Yeah.
always kind of fun to see that. I think the whole franchise is good. It's just a good concept. I like it. It's just really well
Which do you have a favorite out of that franchise? Which one's your favorite?
done. Like I said, I don't know for sure. I really like two because that's the
hmm
one that's got the truck. Remember that truck scene that you can never forget if you're behind a big truck with
Oh,
a bunch of
oh
logs.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think that one might be my favorite, but like I said, but they all have some really good ones. I'll have to revisit some of those like later on. So I think the fourth one and fifth one are pretty good too. So
Mhm.
I really don't think there's any like terrible ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That
a
would
good
be good to
franchise.
do rewatches on them and pick out of all the kill scenes, pick your favorite kill. I
Yeah.
wonder what it
Okay.
would be because they're
Sure.
so interesting. You know,
Yeah.
they're not just like your normal kills. They're always kind of crazy. So I don't know.
Right.
That one's pretty cool. There may another Megan movie. Um,
Another Megan movie. Yeah.
Another Megan movie. I mean, the first one was okay for a PG-13 movie. I mean, not really
Yeah.
my thing, but
It worked. I mean, my kids liked
it,
it. I think that it worked. Yeah.
did your
It,
girls watch it?
they did. They liked it.
Yeah.
They did.
So
Yeah.
do they watch horror movies or no? Not
They're
really.
not usually that interested in it, to be honest. They're usually not that interested, but they
Isn't that
happen to
funny?
like
It's so
stuff.
funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like
Hmm.
my kiddo too. Could care less about horror movies. It's the strangest thing. I'm like, are you really my child? You sure?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, anyways, let's see what else. Oh, you know what? Here's another movie that I wrote down that seems kind of interesting to me. It's called Prince. What about Presents?
Presents. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the film by Soderbergh, right?
Yeah,
Steven Soderbergh.
yeah, Steven Soderbergh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be kind. I mean, this okay. It says the family becomes convinced they are not alone after moving into their home in the suburbs. It just sounds like a formula movie, but
I mean, it does, but he always does really interesting
he always
things.
does like
Typically,
twists, and he does like good twists, right?
yeah,
And
he's always trying to think outside the box. So, yeah,
oh, think
uh,
outside the box. That's what I was trying to. Yes, yes. And the
yeah.
cast seems pretty good. Lucy Liu. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Lucy Liu in a horror movie, so it should be interesting.
She was in a vampire movie a long time ago.
Was she?
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember. Hmm.
All right.
Not
Well,
long.
that's last one February. I think it's gonna come on Valentine's Day is Heart Eyes. Have you heard of Heart Eyes?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few. Hard Eyes and Companion. There's like maybe another one.
Oh, okay.
There's like a bunch of horror movies coming out around that time. A bunch of like relationship, horror kind of stuff. They're going to try to take the place of Valentine. What is it? My Bloody
My
Valentine.
Bloody Valentine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 There's quite a few. There's at least two. I think there's three though. I could be wrong, but they all look interesting. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
they need to have more like horror movies like the love whatever. I love My Bloody Valentine. You know, Tracy bought me the director's cut a couple years ago for Valentine's Day, and it is so good. If you haven't seen the director's cut, it
that's
is
it.
the director comes on right before the movie and he says, if you're watching this, it means you've bought the uncut version. This is the version that I wanted, and not the watered down. So they watered it down. So the uncut version, the director's uncut version, is very gory, very gory. So much more gory than the original. So it's really good, really really good.
Yeah,
But
I've seen it. Another movie that's coming out this year that you didn't mention, Five Nights at Freddy's Part Two.
yep, okay, forgot about that one. Yeah, I still haven't seen the first one.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. My kids are really into Five Nights at Freddy's now. After the
Are
movie,
they?
yeah,
Okay.
they love that sort of stuff. So they love that movie,
Mhm.
and so we're probably gonna watch that one in theaters.
Okay, that's cool. It's
Yeah.
funny that I was just talking about my kid not liking horror movies, but it's so strange that when she went and saw that in the theater, Five
Yeah.
Nights at Freddy with her friends, and she don't like horror movies. So, but she said it's pretty good.
Well, it's the biggest, highest grossing Blumhouse movie.
Oh,
So,
I did not know that. Well,
which
that's a fun
is
fact.
which is extremely weird because it actually dropped on Peacock the same day it came out in theaters, but still outgrossed everything else before
Yeah,
that.
that's crazy. That's a
Yeah,
fun fact.
I wasn't even aware before the movie. I mean, I knew that obviously the games were around, but I wasn't aware how
Mhm.
big they were
Mm.
until obviously the amount of people that went and saw it. It's crazy, crazy,
Mhm.
crazy
That's
stuff.
crazy.
Any more news you got before we get to the
No,
movies?
let's go. Let's talk about our movies. Let's talk about them.
Let me talk. I got a couple more things real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so recently David Lynch died. Were you a fan of David Lynch?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Could you really characterize his movies as horror? I mean, maybe not really, but yes, right? I mean, I would say yes.
I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. It's crazy. I did not know he died. I'm like, have I been under a rock? Like, when did he pass away?
It was a day or two ago. Yeah, it was a few days ago. It was very recent. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Twin Peaks, obviously. I mean, what else? What else can you say? What else?
I think he did. Did he do Blue Velvet?
He did Blue Velvet.
That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much. It's because it's so different. And Dennis Hopper's character, oh my God.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. But
crazy.
honestly, though, as crazy as that movie is, it's probably his most sane, right? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Which is
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. What else? I'm trying to think of Obviously,
He
one
did
of
a
my
Eraserhead. He did Eraserhead.
Eraserhead's crazy. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Of
my
course.
god! Oh my god! That one is just. I love it. It's wild. Um,
Yeah.
and Mulholland Drive. That's what I was trying to think of. I love
Oh, I didn't
Mulholland
realize that.
Drive.
It's funny. I watched that not too long ago. I didn't realize that he did
Mm-hmm.
Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland
Okay.
Drive, The Lost
Okay.
Highway, Inland
Okay.
Empire. So many great, really bizarre shit. I mean, just
Oh, Elephant Man. Forgot about that one. Did
mhm,
you ever
yeah,
see Elephant Man?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was one of those filmmakers that normally people making that kind of stuff, people would probably just kind of give a side eye and not really think that much about the movies. Like, oh, there's some weird shit. I mean, he
Hmm.
was actually taken very seriously. He was celebrated for it. I mean, most of his stuff is in the what is it? The Criterion collection. Like
Hmm.
they're very much like you know big movies. Like they're very much
Hmm.
put on a pedestal
Hmm.
in a way. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, he was very influential for sure. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. Another thing let's talk about real quick. Demi Moore won. What she won a Golden Globe for The
Oh yeah.
Substance.
My mom told me that because I was like, Mom, have you seen The Substance yet? And she was like, No, but I saw that Demi Moore like won an award for it. I was like, well, good because she deserved it. 100%.
And I didn't know
100%.
this, and this is because I don't really follow her career. This was the first award she ever won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should go
Really? I did
watch. Yeah,
not know that.
yeah, you should watch her acceptance speech.
Yeah.
It was very
I'm
very moving. Yeah, yeah. So very cool. So I guess there's a possibility she might get nominated for an Oscar for this role,
good for her. Good for her.
this is probably going to be a strange year anyway. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And another thing about The Substance too, I did see that the director said that there is definitely not going to be a sequel nor a prequel nor anything else, and I think that is commendable. Yes, it doesn't need
Yeah,
it.
agreed.
It does not need it. It's a standalone movie. Don't make it into a laughingstock. So that is great. I'm happy to hear that, honestly.
I am too. I am too.
The only other thing is Scream 7, rather,
Yep.
has gone into production.
Yep.
Gone into production. Kevin Williamson's directing. Everybody's back on board from the old gang, from the new people, the ones that didn't quit or get fired, are back too. So I guess the only person they really couldn't get is Patrick Dempsey. So his character kind of got turned into a different character, but that was really more fan service anyway, kind of a thing. So we didn't really know for sure who's coming back or not. But so that one's coming out next year, and that's not this year's anticipation. But I'm definitely looking forward to that one the next year. All right, that's all I got
All right.
for news today. What do you got? What do you got watching? You got anything watching? You've been watching?
Oh yeah, of course. It's so funny you were just talking about Scream. So I work the Rocket City Horror Con, and when you're in a hotel, you have very limited things you can watch, and it just so
Sure.
happens that Scream 1 was on. I was like, so I did a rewatch of Scream, and right after that, Scream 2 came on.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a little pissed at myself for not seeing it sooner. I was
Because it's
like,
pretty fucking good.
this is a good fucking movie. And the cast,
Loved
I'm
it.
like, it's
Great.
so good. I was like, why did I ever see? I watched when it very first came out. I think I saw the very beginning of it or something. And I'm not a big fan of Jada Pinkett Smith, and I don't know why I didn't want to watch it. That was so many years ago, but
It's still a good opening, though.
dude, I beat myself up. I was like, why the fuck have I never watched this movie? What? So so I started with 1 and 2. So that was just a few weeks ago, and I'm like, dude,
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sit down a whole damn weekend, and I want to start at 1 and watch them back to back. I think that'd be such a fun weekend, and I swear to God, I'm putting that on my damn list to do this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
All
It's
right.
gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just don't stop after you watch 3, though. Don't stop.
Okay. Don't stop after you watch
Well,
3.
well, I mean, personally for me, and I think for some people, 3 is definitely not the best, but
Okay.
there are moments. There are moments. I like it.
Okay.
I don't. I love 1. I love 2. I like 3. And then 4, 5, and 6. So, yeah, they just went a little bit off the rail, not too far off, but they're trying. They didn't jump ship, but they went a little off the rail with 3. But there's still enough in there to enjoy, I think.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So part 3 is definitely Mike's least favorite.
It's my least favorite. It always was. I've seen some people who think it's the best because it's just how it is. You're gonna always find people that like things you don't like or whatever. But and there's definitely things I like about it, and I've seen it many times. But yeah, it's the one that's different in certain aspects. And again, I think they were just trying to do something different, and sometimes things don't work and sometimes they do, and that's just the way it goes. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not like
crazy is I've seen Scream 1 like countless times, and I don't know if it was the TV I was watching. I don't know. This is so crazy. Something I noticed I've never noticed in that movie is Ghostface is like cape is like kind of sparkly.
Oh, it's very sparkly. Yes.
I've never
Absolutely.
noticed that before. I was like, never noticed it. It's sparkly. It's like Papa Corn's jacket. It's kind of sparkly. I was like, that's just weird that I'd never noticed that before. Anyways, so I did go to Full Moon Cineplex last night to watch a movie that I have not seen since probably the 90s, which is Edward Scissorhands. I'm like, I don't even know if that's even considered a horror movie or not. I don't know.
It's Tim Burton, so we'll give it a pass.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's so funny. I'm like, I haven't seen it in so long, and I remember my sister took me to see that in the movie theater, and I think I was around 9 years old. And like some of the references in that movie, I was like, there is no way that I could have understood like what was really happening. Like where he's cutting the chick's hair. She's like, ooh, and your toes are all curling up. I'm like, there's no way I knew what the hell was happening. It's just funny. Right. But it's still a great movie. Great movie.
It's a weird ass movie.
It's so weird. Like all the little I never paid attention. Like I didn't think twice about it as a child, but all the pastel houses and all the pastel cars, and you got this crazy ass castle up here on it's a weird movie. So weird. But it's really good though. I like it. Kind of a tearjerker. I got a little teary eyed and I'm like, where's Edward's happy ending? I want him to have a happy ending. And he didn't have one. But
Part 2 is coming.
Part 2 is coming. All right, let's see what else I have here. Oh, I think we were talking about this the other day. So I watched, and I don't know if you call it triple X mus or XXX mus. So it's XXX dash MAS. I don't know how you say it. It's an independent horror film. It's really good. Really good. I even posted on Slasher, and somebody had commented on there. It's like, I've been trying to find this movie to stream, and I can't find it anywhere. Where did you get it at? So one of the actresses was at the Rocket City Horror Con. So met her, bought them DVD off of her. It was a great movie. So if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend trying to find that one.
All right, cool.
Another one I watched was Daylight to Dark. Did you end up watching that one?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay. Hey, it's pretty cool. Like, Jake C. Young, the director, he's been on our podcast before. So I remember him telling me back, God, it was probably damn near a year ago. He was like, I completely forgot to tell you that I named one of my characters after you. So yeah, one of the main characters, Bridget. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I didn't know it was named after you, but yeah, of course.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see what else do I have up here? Oh, I did go see Nosferatu.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think?
It was all I could do to sit through it. it was. I was like,
no, not for you. Not for you. Well,
it reminded me too much of Bram Stoker's
Dracula.
Dracula.
Well, okay. So
So
yeah, and that's what a lot of people say about it. But I mean, here's the weird thing: it's like Nosferatu was a ripoff of Dracula. The movie itself was a ripoff of Dracula, but they didn't do a whole lot of the story in Dracula in the movie exactly. But I felt like what he did is he did try to incorporate a lot of that stuff into this movie that is from Dracula, right? I mean, I think the problem with that, I mean, I don't just like the movie. I think it's shot very well. I think it's very beautiful.
the visual and the acting was amazing, but that's all I got for you on that one.
Yeah, the vampire cock is very long. I don't know what the fuck's
Wait,
up
what
with
did
that.
you just say? What did you just say? Did you say? I was like, wait, did I hear what you just said?
You know what I said.
I just wanted to hear you say it again.
I don't know what the hell's up with that mustache though.
Oh,
You know?
oh, right. I know, right?
Like, I mean, but he looked pretty cool. He looked pretty cool. He did not look anything like Max Shrek. I guess they weren't even going to go for that kind of stuff. But he looked pretty cool. He wasn't as creepy as Shrek, obviously, because that he just had that natural infinity, I guess. But like I said, I don't dislike the movie, but I do think watching it. I mean, I've seen this so many times that there's not much to be surprised about, unfortunately, because I've seen. Gotcha. I mean, I've read the book. I've seen so many different reiterations of this story throughout the years, and Coppola did it really good. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Coppola's version is pretty good. It's kind of hard to top that one.
So you've actually read the novel?
Yeah,
I bet the novel's really good.
The novel is interesting. I mean, it's broken up. It's not like a typical novel of A to B kind of thing. It's mostly just like journal entries and like newspaper articles and just these different ways to tell a story. So it's very interesting. So yeah.
Oh, well, that's different.
You should check it out. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I do think that it's just something that it's hard to be like, oh my God, like, because it is something it's been around for so long, that tale, and without really changing the story crazily, which I mean, I know some things were changed obviously, but not enough to be like, wow, I didn't expect that kind of a deal, So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I mean, I don't think it was like, damn, you've got to see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair. What else? Here, I got one for you. So I've never seen this movie. It's one that I was like, I've got to just check this shit off my list. It was leaving Netflix, so I sat and watched it. Is The Birds? Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds.
Oh, the birds.
Never,
no, not the
I've never
birds.
seen it. Is that crazy? Like, I've never seen
crazy.
it.
I saw that when I was little. Yeah.
Did you? That's so funny. That's wild. It's a very interesting movie, and the only thing the one thing that I did not like about it was the end. I feel like the end kind of left you hanging. I was like, oh, is there gonna be like a part two? Well, no, there's not gonna be a part two. Like, it just kind of left you hanging. I guess maybe that was his way of, use your imagination. How do you think?
Well,
I don't know. One of those, I guess. But
you say that, but let me look that up real quick.
I was like, is that it? It's over? Seriously, I was like, oh, that's it. It's done. Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess for some reason.
Do you remember how it ended?
Was it just with the? No, not really. To be honest.
Okay, so she gets attacked by the birds and anything. She's like gonna die or whatever. Like, we gotta leave. We gotta get her to the hospital. So they get in the car and they leave, and that's it. It's over. That's it. It's done. That's it.
Right. Well, that's just kind of the way they did a lot of things back then, though. Sort of. Sometimes.
Yeah. That's a good point. I
watched it a few years ago. I mean, to watch it now, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, the CGI looks a little silly, don't you think? I mean, or not in CGI. I mean, some of the birds look a little silly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but when I was little, watching it, I thought it was very scary. I thought it was scary.
Oh,
So,
I would probably say, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
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 I don't know what year it came out. 1963. So for 1963, I was like, it's pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see, what else do I have on my list? So I've done a lot of rewatches. I'm just gonna go through these pretty quick. I did a rewatch of Tamara from 2005.
Oh yeah,
I
I remember that.
haven't seen that one in a long time, a really long time. So I did a rewatch of that. I did now this one's great. I posted this on Slasher earlier, and I also had somebody comment. It's like, I remember really loving this movie. It's called The Perfection. Have you ever seen this?
Is that the Netflix one?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen that one.
I love this
The
movie.
violin.
Yes, I watched it when it very first came out. And
I've only seen it once.
Yep. So I'm glad that I was like, I'm glad I did a rewatch of this, because now I remember why. I remember really liking it, but I'd forgotten a lot about it. But one of my favorite things about films is the what the fuck moments, WTF moments, and it definitely has them for sure. Yeah, for sure. Let me see. What else? Rewatches. Motel Hell. I love Motel Hell.
I did rewatch that too. Yeah.
You did? I didn't even notice that you did that. Oh, no shit. That's one of those it's such a weird, strange movie, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's the definition of camp right there. Very
oh God, totally, for sure. I did a rewatch of Circus of the Dead.
Yeah.
I did. Yep.
Good.
So I think that's all. I think that's all I have. I don't have a very, very long list. I usually around Christmas it's my one time a year I take a small little break from horror movies and watch feel good movies. So
yeah.
It drives me crazy. I feel like something's like missing in my life if I don't have my horror movies. And seriously, it's like, and there's a lot of times where I'll get where I have like an itch and I need like a satisfaction from a horror movie, and I'll watch all these horror movies and I'm like, none of them are giving me like the satisfaction. They're not giving me what I'm wanting. They're not giving me that feel. They're not giving me that adrenaline rush that I'm looking for. And I think it's one of the reasons I love The Substance so much, is because it was just a chaotic ride, and it was just I loved it. I love it. Makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
See that little crazy over here.
I rewatched that again too. Too.
Hell yeah! Awesome.
The Substance. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so that's all you got then?
That's all I got.
That's your list. Okay, I don't have a big list. Honestly, not too many things I don't really want to talk about. I've watched things here and there, but just a few things I'll mention. The one I talked to you about a little bit today was called Get Away.
Yes.
Away. And then this is a movie written by Nick Frost. Nick Frost, he was in the Shaun of the Dead. He's been on all those movies with I can't think of his name. I watched another movie he was in recently too. It's called Black Cat. I want to say it's called
Black Cat. Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
Yeah, that one was it was okay too. Anyway, Get Away. So I do like this movie. It's a horror comedy, I guess you would say. It starts off kind of like The Wicker Man, honestly. It's this family books this sort of B&B vacation on this tiny island where people long ago sort of had a result to cannibalism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so they get there and people are very strange and very uninviting, and you can just tell they don't want them to be there and stuff. And it's so it's very weird. It's a very wild thing, but there's a big twist to the movie, and that kind of makes it a lot more comical than it maybe would have been at the beginning. So I won't give any of that away, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Because I'm actually watching that after the podcast tonight. So
okay, yeah, very cool. I mean, it's not like fantastic, but I think it's a pretty decent little watch.
So I had texted you earlier today because I was like, do you have any recommendation for horror movies? Because I'm not excited about anything right now that's out,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything great. So I was like, "Dude, give me some recommendations." And if anyone is listening that has recommendations of movies that we have not talked about, please leave comments. I love
Sure.
recommendations, especially from horror fans.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Today I watched another movie, a little French film that's on Shutter called Red Rooms.
Oh, Red Rooms, yes. So I did see that you were watching that earlier, and it's a foreign film, right?
Yeah,
Foreign
it's
film?
French. It's French.
Oh,
Yeah.
French. You just told me that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how was it? Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I actually saw this on a lot of lists of top horror for last year, and it's kind of so I was
Okay.
kind of like interested about it. I'm not sure if you'll like it or not. If I'm going to be honest, it's more cerebral than it is anything. There's no action in this movie. There's no real. There's no blood. There's no gore. There's none of that stuff. It's. I
Mhm.
mean, to say it's really even a horror movie, I don't know if you really could say that. I mean, it's psychological, but so it's about a
Mhm.
model becomes obsessed with a high-profile murder trial.
Mhm.
So the big bulk of the movie starts out of just like this serial killer or possible serial killer is on trial for murder because of these young girls that they found these videotapes of some guy, supposedly this guy, with doing terrible, vicious things to these girls. And so they have two. There was three girls that were missing. They found videos of two of them, but they didn't the third one. They couldn't find the
Mhm.
video of that. So the movie focuses on this one girl, and she's like she's at the trial. She's just kind of watching it because she's kind of like one of those people, just like people that are obsessed with true crime. Just kind of
Right.
checking it out and everything. And
Mhm.
so the movie just kind of delves into her kind of going through the story and everything. And she kind of talks to this one girl who's obsessed with the killer, as people tend to do,
Mhm.
uh, and like kind of thinks he's innocent and all that kind of stuff. And as it goes along, lo and behold, she finds out that on the dark web that there is the video of the missing girl, the one that they haven't found.
Mhm.
And so she sets out to try to find it, to try to find
Mhm.
that. So that's really the kind of the bulk of the movies, her trying to figure out how to get that video. And so it's kind of just showing her kind of like maneuvering through the dark web, and like how to kind of
It
find
sounds
that
like
point.
it sounds like a good movie, but what you don't think I'd like it? Is it slow? Is it a slow burn?
I'm just saying there's no action to it. There's no
Yeah.
like there's like nothing like that. It's literally
Yeah.
just her going through all that and finding the ways that she can do like that she can find the video. And when she gets a hold of the video, it's what she does with it, you know. And
Mhm.
that's just the aftermath of it. I think in the culture that we have today, where again everybody's really obsessed with this sort of stuff,
Mhm.
that it makes sense and it fits pretty well. But it's
Mhm.
not again, it's not one of those movies where you're like, oh, where's the hack and slash? It's not going to come up at all. So, you know,
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
you're okay with that, then you might like it. But if not,
Mhm.
might want to skip
So that's good. Knowing going in.
that.
That's what I've been watching a lot of lately. I've been watching a shit ton of true crime documentaries.
Yeah.
When I took my little break from horror movies, I watched my little feel good movies, and I'm like, I've been on like the true crime
Did you
documentaries.
say true crime was feel good? Is that what you said?
No, no, I said I watched my. They're like, yeah, she's real crazy. Bridget's true crime is feel good. No, I was saying I watched my feel good movies, and then I was also watching a
Oh,
lot of true
gotcha.
crime. Both, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next thing I watched, Y2K.
Y2K. I don't even think I've even
Mm-hmm.
heard of Y2K.
You never heard of it? I heard of
Mm-mm.
it. I think I maybe saw a teaser or something before I watched it. I
Mhm.
know I hadn't seen too much about it because I wasn't aware exactly. Like I was like, Y2K. Okay, I already know what this movie's about, but it's pretty fun. I like it. It was a pretty good time. Um, it's kind of like what was that movie that came out in the '80s about those robots at the mall? What was that called?
Oh yeah, chopping mall or no,
Chopping.
chopping. chopping something, which is weird because they didn't even chop anything. They had like lasers. Right?
It was. I think it was chopping mall. I think it was.
Was it chopping mall?
I think so. So, but I mean, so obviously, us being old fogies that we are, living through Y2K and all that fun stuff. So it was good to see that kind of stuff. You got the dial up and all the looks of AOL and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
going into it. So it's 1999, and and we all remember the panic and everything that happened. So this movie's kind of like, what if the panic was true in a way, and sort of what we're talking about. It's kind of weird because the movie's kind of relevant about today. It's about what if robots become sentient, which is kind of what we're dealing with now with AI. But this was about Y2K and robots and stuff happening then.
Now, what year did this movie come out? Do you know?
It just came out. It came out last year. Yeah.
Oh, it just came out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's a newer movie, but it's about 99. Y2K, right before Y2K. So at Y2K. So, yeah, but it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Okay.
It's a popcorn movie? Is it like, oh my god, this thing made me think about life? I mean, no. It's just fun. It's just a fun movie. It's
a fun Saturday night movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but I liked it. I liked it a lot better. I didn't really expect much from it going in. Again, I really didn't pay that much attention about it, and but I did end up really, really liking it. there's a '90s icon in there that makes it super funny. I won't say who until you watch it, but it's
okay.
It's pretty funny.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't really have any other movies to talk about, to be honest. I'll mention a couple of shows I've been watching.
Okay.
I've been getting into Dexter Original Sin.
Okay, so what is I watched the original Dexter like religiously.
Yes.
I loved it. I mean I watched it over and over again. So I was a little hesitant on watching this new Dexter. So what's your feedback from it? Is it good?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So now we had Dexter, right? We had Dexter, the show. It went for 8 seasons. You watched all 8 of those seasons?
I watched all 8.
Yeah. Well, it didn't end very well.
It ended terrible.
Wasn't great. Wasn't great.
Terrible.
Well, they brought the show back again and called it New Blood for one season. I think to try to make a better ending, but it was actually worse.
Remember that. That was like around like 2019.
Yeah, it was just a few years ago. But they tried to make the ending better, but it made it worse, in my opinion. Okay, so but Hollywood being the way they are, they never can let anything lie, and so they're like, okay, let's milk this for some more. I mean, this is really Showtime's big series, really. And they got some other big ones too, but this is definitely one of their heavy hitters. So they thought, well, okay, let's do this. Let's make 2 series. Now, they did talk about making a different kind of spinoff, and I don't think anybody was going to go for that. So they're like, okay, we scrap this. So now what they've done is they've made 2 series. This one, the first one that came out, is Dexter Original Sin. This is like a prequel to Dexter. This is like when he was younger. This was like.
Okay.
This was like when he first started killing and becoming spatter analyst and stuff and all this. So it's really fun. I really like it. It's fun to revisit because you're seeing all these characters that have died off, through the series that are back now, but younger versions of them. Michael C. Hall actually does the narration for the series.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So he's not in it obviously, but he does the narration. But all the characters are familiar. You know a lot of obviously not the ones he's killing, but the characters are. She's like, oh yeah. So if you watched all 8, you'll know who they all are, and it kind of seem like going home again.
Oh yeah. I Dexter was one of those shows where almost like fell in love with some of the characters, and I'll never forget the episode where his girlfriend or wife, I guess, Rita.
Yeah.
He knew where I was going with this.
Yeah.
I was so horrified horrified. I like damn near cried. I was
Last episode of season 4, probably one of the best episodes on television.
yeah. Isn't
That was
crazy?
that was a game changer.
And what's the guy's name that plays Trinity? What's his
John
name?
Lithgow.
Dude, what I was like, what a great actor! Like so good. So you're saying that so Dexter, the original sin, is kind of based off of like him as a child.
With him as a young adult, like right before,
So is that
right
the one you've
before
been watching, or you've been watching another one?
That's the one I've been watching. The other one's not come out yet. The other one is the other one they're filming now. It's going to come out in summer. It's the continuation of Dexter's story after Dexter and New Blood. It's called Dexter Resurrection. And that's the continuation. So that's going to be.
Is it about like his kids or something?
No, it's no Michael C. Well, his kids in it, unfortunately, but it's going to be about.
You
Michael
said
C.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't like his kid thing, the whole kid thing, but it's going to be about Michael C. Hall. It's Dexter back again. So
okay.
So hopefully
just talking to you about this makes me even want to like go and do a rewatch of Dexter. I'm telling you, like I loved that show so much.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah, the blood splatters, I love it. So good.
Oh yeah, I mean the writing was just great. I mean, I think 1 through 4, those seasons are just some of the best television ever made. 5, 6, and 7, 8. I mean, they're hit and miss. Sometimes they have some good ideas, and there's definitely some episodes I really absolutely love. But there are some things that are not as good, I don't think. But the first 4, man, you can't really beat that stuff.
Oh man, and Dexter, he'd get himself in a pickle, but he'd always somehow get out of it. Like just the writing is so good. If you have not seen Dexter, go and watch it tonight.
Go watch
just
it.
saying.
And the last thing I want to talk about is another TV show. It's kind of Dexter-esque in a way. It's kind of like the British version of Dexter if it was a female.
Oh.
It's called Sweet Pea.
Never even heard of it. Sweet Pea?
Yeah. It's on Stars. I actually. I
don't have Stars. Maybe that's why I haven't heard of it.
Well, I really hadn't heard that much about it either. Somebody was telling me about it, and I was like, "That's a horror show." I didn't even know it was a horror show, and I watched it. And I mean, is the writing comparable to Dexter? No. But
it'd be hard, yeah.
Right,
hard.
But it is this girl who's kind of down on her luck. No, I mean it's kind of like clowning. No, it's kind of like another movie that we know about because there's a person who's not being seen. Well, it's just kind of like clowning, right?
Yeah.
So like nobody's really seeing 100%. Her, and so eventually she kind of just burst, but she ends up killing these people. But she comes to find out that these people that she's killing are kind of bullies, or they're bad. They're not serial killers like Dexter's doing, but they're not really great people. But so it's like I said, I won't say it's as good as Dexter. It's nowhere near that level, but it is kind of in that vein of like her trying to kill these people that she thinks is worthy of killing. Mm-hmm. It's only 6 episodes, but it has been renewed for season 2, I think so. Awesome. I mean, look, Dexter. It's hard to fill those kind of shoes. The only thing that can come close to Dexter, I'd say, is You on Netflix. Have you watched that?
So I watched like the first couple of seasons.
You didn't like it?
I think I did like it, but I kind of felt like it was getting repetitive to me. So
sure,
that's kind of why.
I think they're season 4 now or something like that. But I think they might have one more to go, and that's it. They're done. I guess it was sort in its own way repetitive, but that was like the only thing that kind of scratched that Dexter itch, because he, it's got the narration, and he's kind of like the anti-hero killer guy, kind of a
Yeah,
deal.
and like those two personalities, two lives or whatever, like living like a kind of double life or whatever.
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. I heard that was based off of like, what was it based off of? It's like based off
A book?
like a
Was it a book?
a book. Was it? Yeah, I think so. And I've heard like the
Well,
books are like crazy good.
Dexter's based off a book too. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did
Oh yeah.
not know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everything. They're all based off of books, aren't they? They all start off
Yeah.
as novels, don't they?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Dexter. They have a bunch of novels of Dexter, and after a certain point, the show and the books don't go hand in hand. Yeah. Like I think
Mhm.
Rita lives in the books, and I think I don't know. It's just a lot different. It's been a while since
Okay.
I've even I did read a lot of the first book. I haven't read the rest of them, but I know some of the synopses, and I think it's just a different world that they kind of just went their own way with the show. You know, took a lot of liberties and stuff. So which they do a lot of anyway. But if you get a chance, you can check out that Sweet Pea. Like I said, it takes a while before it gets going. Like nothing really happens crazy. It's just a lot of setup till the very end of the first episode. But like I said, if you just want something that's kind of like serial killer esque,
Okay.
there you go.
All right.
That's a show. Yeah.
Right on.
All right, that's all I got for you. You
Man,
got anything else?
I have a movie that I didn't talk about earlier, and I just want to bring it up really quick.
Okay.
It's another movie that's supposed to come out this year, Die My Love, with Jennifer
Die My
Lawrence.
Love.
Have you heard of this one?
No, I have not heard this one.
So it's funny because I just kind of saw this earlier today that supposedly Jennifer Lawrence, when she did Mother, it was disturbed her so much. But this movie seems like it's right in line with it, kind of. I never saw Mother.
You didn't see Mother?
I watched, I think, like the first 15 minutes of it, and something happened. I got interrupted or something. This was a couple years ago, and I never went back and rewatched it. But I was gonna ask you if you felt like I would like it, because I feel it's a slow burn, right? But it's supposed to be crazy. I'm like, is it that crazy? Is it really? It's so messed her up, disturbed her, and now she's doing another fucked up movie. But wait, do you think I would like it? Do you think I would like it?
I don't know. I mean, it's very messed up. It's pretty crazy movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it personally myself. So I mean, is it slow burn? I mean, maybe at the beginning. I mean, it amps up there toward the end for sure. There's a lot of things happening there. It's an allegory for religious stuff, I think. But I mean, I like it overall. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it gets quite a bit of hate. But
yeah, that's just one of those. This is one of those movies that I feel like I just kind of want to check it off my list. And I've been meaning to ask you about it, and then I saw that thing, Die My Love. You have to look that one up.
Okay.
That's supposed to be coming out this year, but they're supposed to be kind of very similar and very messed up. And it was an article that I read earlier today that are like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence said that Mother messed her up so bad. Now she's doing this movie because it's so similar, but whatever.
Well,
but,
I mean, from what I can remember from Mother is I didn't love it. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, but I didn't hate it. So I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
But it's not
special. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Overall, I mean, probably should rewatch it though, because it does have some pretty cool parts in it. So
a good payoff at least.
Probably worth checking out. I mean, are you going to love it? Maybe not, but
Gotcha.
you never know until you watch, right? You never know.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, this is our inaugural video format version of the podcast. So we'll see how it all ends up.
See how that shakes out. I'll be like, I see you.
Right? Yeah. All right. Well, you got anything else for this episode?
Man, that's it. That's all I got for you.
All right. Very cool. Well, until next time, you got to stay hardcore. All right. Very cool. Okay. Later.
Bye.
Wow. That's hardcore.
Nothing harder.
Hardcore Horror with Mike and Bridget is a part of the Tennessee Horror Podcast Network.